All right, before we kill Kaldor, we're just getting ready in just a moment. Make sure the players are on the right side. If you're enjoying the show, and if you're enjoying the show, then you're going to appreciate the fact we are heading into draft. But remember, you can show your appreciation to Method by hitting !socials in the chat. Tell them what. Oh, well, we're not in the draft quite yet. !socials in the chat to see alerts on Twitter where you can see more about these cups and get alerts of what Method is doing. Because Tuesday night is Heroes Night here with Method Mayhem on the Method channel, and I've done a call to action which I was not asked to do, so I'm sure I'm going to get told off for it later. Send Methods pictures of your setups of how you're watching Method Mayhem on Instagram, which you can also find in the socials as well. Yeah, plenty of options to see there. There's Facebook, YouTube. You can find all the details there. And of course, you are on Twitch right now watching Method Mayhem.
Players get quick here. The reason why actually the draft got cancelled for just a second is apparently it was set up the wrong way, the lobby. So one of the players caught it right away and said like, hey, wait a second, we still want that first pick, baby. So insta drop, and now they are ready and good to go, I think. But yeah, might have to swap around a little bit, but then we're ready to go for the game. And as we already mentioned earlier, it is Infernal Shrine, so lobby popping up, and therefore let's go. Draft for game number 1 best of 3 series later, ladies and gentlemen, as we continue with Method Mayhem over here. Game is on. And we got Infernal Shrines, Jävla Spindel against the Swedish House Mafia. Infernal Shrines is our first map, and it's just Swedish players and teams all over the place right now. And this should be a real hyped series. I mean, those are two very, very good teams going up against each other now. So this will be a lot of fun. And of course, all of these guys know each other extremely well. And therefore, we can expect that there's also going to be a lot of preference bans and not just simply meta being addressed.
Decade Kane is going to be the Medivh taken out as the first ban here for good reason. This is more of a target ban than anything else against the Swedish House Mafia. On the other side is the Rhaegar, and we do see Cassia banned out for the second time here. It does look like she snuck her way into the meta.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, it's also banned out against Quacknick, so this is one of the things I highlighted earlier. Quack is one of those players that really likes to play Cassia if he can, if he fits the style, and so if he gets a chance to do it, he will. But they're starting things off in an early pick into Tassadar here on the map, so again, all the Q damage coming out. And very, very different ban patterns in general. I mean, first of all, we have Rhaegar banned out. That makes a whole lot of sense. Then you also have a targeted ban in the form of Medivh. And you could argue that even the Junkrat ban, though it fits as a meta ban, also is targeting Svamkorotta a little bit, who is just doing incredibly well on those heroes. And yeah, that's a good hero to deny to him. But there comes the Alarm pick. And we got also backhold on ETC right now. So yeah, good opening for both teams into this. And let's see what exactly Jävla Spindel is going to pick up next.
Very good openings. Very solid looking here already with some potential for big burst heroes. Maybe Li Ming sneaking in once again. For now, though, Johanna and Yrel, a massively tanky and hard to kill front line from the side of Jävla Spindel. Lots of disruption, and of course, Yrel has that good disengage.
Can we agree that Johanna needs more skins?
Yes.
Like, Johanna, the skin that Stork plays here is just like, bleh. And there are not really a whole lot of great skins for her. There are some that I will definitely let go through. But generally speaking, she needs a couple of sexy skins. And she's one of the heroes that I feel is always being overlooked when it comes to new skins in the game.
Orc skin is best skin for Johanna at the moment, but I would definitely like some more variation and options there. Also, Arthas, if we're talking about tanks that need new skins. He hasn't had one in a very, very long time, since Bat skin, I believe.
He needs a new model.
Malthael banned out. He does.
Yeah. So, I mean, there were, back in the day, there were a lot of model comparisons on Reddit where people were saying, like, hey, this is not really the Arthas that we need and want. Like, here's a much better one. I think they brought even a few from other games in and just showed, okay, just replace it with that. Back to the draft, though. We got the Deathwing plus Greymane set up now for them. So Deathwing for Svamkorotta, apparently. The ban on Malthael. And yeah, that leaves us still with the potential Leo pick, of course, for Jävla Spindel, for multiple reasons. I mean, first of all, it would be kind of neat for them to have it in order to simply play against Deathwing, but also get that additional wave clear. Instead, we have them with a double backline, though. So no triple front. We have Deckard Cain for Yasuo. More Deckard Cain. I like it, especially for Infernal Shrines. Happy to see him back. And we get Quack Another opportunity to get his quad calls in the macro game in, and that won them already multiple games in this tournament series. So that could be a fun one.
Very sensible here. So we see the final pickup, and that is very sensible here. You've got a squishy backline. How do you get to it? Mephisto. It's going to be their tool to try and blow up that Falstad, that Deckard, that Tassadar. There's 3 sets of percentage damage on the side of Jävla Spindel for that Deathwing, but we've seen recently that it's no longer the case of Deathwing release, where you just have to pick some kind of percentage damage to 100% beat Deathwing. Now you can do it even without that percentage damage, but it's still recommended.
Yeah, for sure. And Mephisto for Make will be more than an interesting thing. This is something that gets banned out against him regularly. Yep. So it's going to be nice to see him on the hero. And now they're playing around that. But yeah, Mako on Mephisto is a bit of a beast. Kind of brought the hero back into the meta in the first place. Well, I wouldn't really say back into the meta, but there's other teams now for a long time that have tried to mirror that a little bit. So Mephisto sees some play at least. But
he brought it into the public conscience.
Yeah, more like that, exactly. But yeah, with Ana together, decent combo. Got the Ana Mephisto set up this time. But of course, the more traditional composition here for Jävla Spindel. And that could become an interesting one. They definitely have the potential to play like more of a macro game as well, simply because of Falstad. I mean, of course, we got Deathwing on the other side too, but the bird is a little bit more flexible still here, I feel.
Yeah, gives them a lot of global potential, gives them some mercenary steel potential if that's the way they want to go. We've been seeing players like Chris lean more heavily on the seasoned marksman style of Falstad, but we do still see the Bribe Stad consistently with that wingman at level 1 as a solid value pick as well. But I think we may actually be leaning towards the seasoned marksman on this in this match, purely because of that Deathwing.
I mean, it depends a little bit. So you said you would expect it?
I think I'd see the. I think I'd like to see the seasoned marksman here.
Yeah, I mean, it depends a little bit on what they really want to do with it. If they are more worried about Deathwing, then it makes a whole lot of sense to go into seasoned marksman and giant killer later. But if he feels that towards the later stage of the game he has to play more around the global, then I think going into more of a bit of a mage setup would probably help them here. But yeah, you can definitely play the seasoned marksman style there too. It will be interesting either way to see how Quack exactly plays that out. But yeah, good auto attacks would help them.
He can actually play the Giant Killer without picking up Seasoned, of course, and Giant Killer will still get equally as much value. So it is very much the preference on level 1. Like you said, couldn't have put it better myself. It will be curious to see which style they go for. And that's Zeratul. Oh, wrong Protoss. That Tassadar as well is going to be able to drop percentage damage once he gets level 16, and that's going to be putting on a lot of pressure as well. In the meantime, he just offers massive clear onto that objective.
Yeah, exactly. And they have a fair amount of that. They have not only him, but Tassadar, Johanna, Falstad, Deckard Kane, of course, now too, as he starts to chip in. I like the amount of control that they actually have, especially with the old man here. I still like the way that you can just set that up for also with like Johanna, Blessed Shield, for example, and then later on. So there's a lot that they can do around that. But when it comes to Quark Mix, then of course we're looking mainly towards, hey, how can they play the late game macro style?
Very, very true. Or maybe I don't know why. There's no Dahaka in this game, but I just got memories of, I think it was Quack flying into mid on Dragonshire. I don't know why that just came back to me. So to keep an eye on his landing spots, there is an ETC on the other side. There is that stun potential, and we are heading into the game. We'll see if Quack does die mid. It's unlikely. He's going to be playing a low safe. He's definitely an incredible player throughout his history, but he's learned from his mistakes. He's on the right with Jävla Spindel as well. Skulk back to Passion, Stork, and Yasu for this side.
10 seconds.
Yeah, and off we go. Map number 1, Infernal Shrines, and it's party time. We got our quarterfinal, ladies and gentlemen, and it is a pretty awesome one. Swedish players on both sides, mainly, not all of them. But Quack, of course, on the bird, as expected. Make switched over to Mephisto. And we have on level 1 the seasoned marksman, trying to get the stacks together over here. We'll still head into the boomerang on level 7 just to make sure that he gets the off-lane wave clear here. Should be a fun one. This is honestly one of those series that could definitely go the full distance and end up with a 3-mapper. I would honestly be a little bit surprised if we would have a one-sided series here, because these two teams are on eye level. Last time Jävla Spindel were pretty far into the tournament. Can they do it again? in this third weekly cup of Method Mayhem, though. That's the question.
Very much agree with you. Would very much doubt we see anything too one-sided. Maybe singular games, draft wins, of course, are a thing. But these two teams are very, very solid right now. And for now, casual. We could see ETC was looking to see if he could pick someone up, but unable to do so. So I'm Grotto here, playing quite far back here. He nearly lost an armor plate, but he wants to hold on for that as long as possible. As Scoot is in trouble here. We'll be able to piece out as Maka does go for the dive. Gets himself in a lot of trouble, takes a lot of damage, but will survive.
Yeah, survives for now, no problem for him. I mean, again, there's always these rotations between the lanes where you have to be a bit cautious. You kind of expect it. It comes down to communication, calling out that heroes are missing on lanes. First camp is already taken. A little bit of a later move from the red team. Jävla Spindel take their own just a few seconds late, which means there is a chance for the Swedish House Mafia to take the bottom camp and therefore set themselves slightly ahead in the early game. I mean, not really by massive amount, but yeah. Mid lane, good wall. They go for Gia. Oh, and he just barely makes it out.
Rolls to freedom, gets himself out of danger, will stay alive, just fountains up, and gets slow heals by Galnaguna, who did just get sidestepped by Gia unintentionally. Heal is sidestepped. No one is as good at sidestepping any abilities than an Ana on your own team. As we see a little bit of pressure onto Swimgrota, they will force him back here. Doesn't look like they'll pop the armor plate though.
Same time, still all alone up at the top with the Molten Flame, no problem for him. The camp at the bottom of the map, by the way, has not been taken. So the blue team decided a bit earlier that it would be a bit too risky to really make a move here. But now we're seeing them going for it after all. And there's only Stork around. I mean, Stork is fairly alone since everybody else is already going top right side to take their Shaman camp as the objective gets announced. Putting the wall in place over here.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think that was just to keep them lined up for Falstad. That's the only logic I have behind walling them without electric fence. But he did it.
Let's see. First objective is gonna... I mean, honestly, with us, or at least I still expect that we will see eventually Quacknix heavily leaning towards macro calls as he usually does, especially in the later stages of the game. And with theirs as a preset, if you take the early objective and can create a little bit more space on the map by taking those walls down, that would be fantastic. But you can actually see that Quag is not even thinking about team fighting with this team. He's just saying, like, you know what? You can have the first one. We don't care about that anyways, because it's easy to defend, or at least in theory it should be. Instead, we're going to try and get value topside against you. So they are already playing a macro style here. I like the reaction of the Swedish House Mafia, on the other hand. They come in and they do fairly well with this, matching the rotation of Quacknix's team while still putting some additional pressure onto the point in the bottom lane.
29-14 right now as Burger attempts to go for Stork, but Burger is sidestepped and will not be able to land that. Swimgrota and Passion still dueling up in top lane, and it looks like the objective has been abandoned by Jävla Spindel. They will back up and allow us to go over to the Swedish House Mafia.
Yeah, and let's see what they can actually do with this. How much damage can they do, especially when we're looking towards the bot lane right now? Can they break through the entire fort? I mean, that would be the dream. I suspect that Falstad is going to move in very quickly to help out with that. But for the time now, Punisher baited over, as usual. Still the commitment. Only Deathwing is topside. But they won't be able to get too much. Greyman is the only one and still sticking around. He's trying to open up the wall at least, but they won't be able to go for the fort itself.
Going to be able to clean that up. Maka will just try to be annoying to Max Passion. Unable to do so, though, as Burger is knocked back, unable to go for any kind of hard engage. Punisher still alive, actually. Is doing a very good job here. As Skook was able to tank through it well enough, so he didn't take a huge amount of damage himself, but that fort was weakened.
Yeah, lost a couple of hit points. I mean, it's nothing too crazy yet, especially since Inexperience is still on the same level. But it gives them a slight lead. Now, of course, by now we have Boomerang, so there is a bit more AoE available for Quacknix that helps him to stack his level 1. He also can use it to push out these lanes a little bit bigger. Topside spray game is on point, I like it. Still going for the standard spray though, so it's a little like, when you go for the loadout here, you just have to up your game a little bit. I like that the spray reaction is still just instantaneous, but there's better ones available, I gotta say.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got to run in style here, as we see a nice little zoning scroll of ceiling here. In fact, in game number 1, I saw 2 pleb horses on the side of ETC go broad. I'm 90% sure that's why they lost, as we see the focus onto Burger.
You gotta go for the money pig. I don't know what to tell you here.
You can go for the money pick is preferable, but anything except the player pause, except on Grey Main, is unacceptable.
Yeah, I mean, again, you have to think about it. A lot of the best players in this game ride the money pick. It's not a coincidence.
Exactly. It's definitely not Caldor pushing this for over 2 years.
No.
And grading
what do you mean
it into
2?
the culture
What do you mean
of professional play.
Hey, 5, okay? 5.
Pushing it for at least 5 years. Burger,
if it's good enough for Whoopi, it's good enough for me. That's all I'm saying.
Stun comes out. They burn the blast shield. They're looking for Marco. Unable to do so, but here comes the nano boost, but no one's in range. Easy Mighty Gust, and Krakenix forces the disengage after burning that nano boost out.
Cam gets cleared now too. Of course, level 10 abilities will play a big role for the next fight. Cooldowns should be back on by then. But yeah, very, very slow game. For the best of 3, again, it's the quarterfinals. It's the last weekly tournament before the first monthly final. So you gotta play this a little bit slow. And they have a good rotation towards the bottom to get even more damage onto that structure. But they still fall back before they eliminate it. Having Greymane on any structure in Worgen form, though, is always fantastic. So very, very good rotation from the Swedish House Mafia, opening this up for destruction later on. But Marke gets caught up here in the middle.
Looks like he might be dropped here. Good knockback, though, from ETC. But that's not going to stop Max Passion jumping over that wall to finish off the kill. Stay a while and listen's going to guarantee the retreat and maybe the kill if they commit. Gia looks for Yasu. Do they have to stun? They burn the blast shield. They're committed to that. And Deathwing, though, multi-man stun. He rolls through the forced wall. Gia's on the run. Towers, though. Towers going to drop it.
No way.
No, Max Passion with the cheese. He's out.
Nice!
Oh no!
Oh, the bird! The bird! Quack with a kill! Nicely done!
I think that might
awesome.
be the dictionary definition of tunnel vision and worth in the same sentence.
And he didn't even die for it. Honestly, if he dies here, I have zero problems with that. Like, none whatsoever. But he goes in, gets the kill, absolutely perfect. And now they have the 5 versus 4 as they go for the objective. Here comes another wall. They're setting all of this up. Tazada with just one storm after another. I don't want to see the electricity bill for that guy at the end of the month. But he is just absolutely hammering the spells out and getting the points on the board for the objective for them now.
Now that was interesting. Marka just burned the we saw the nano boost burned onto Marka there by Galna Gooder, and Marka dropping everything he could, and he could still barely make his way through Max Passion, and everyone in the backline healed up by the preset potions of Yasu made it very difficult for that to really get value. So as such, this Mephisto is struggling at least a little bit in this mid game, and with that, it's going to be the Punisher going over to Jävla Spindel.
I mean, honestly, they gave it up already. They fought for it a bit to see if they can maybe get a kill, but they didn't really commit to it. They had Greymane at the bottom of the map, just pushing the lane out so they could take the fort apart, and that's what just happened. So the bottom fort has now fallen, and it gave them a bit more experience too. So while 4 heroes in the middle were trying to occupy Jävla Spindel as much as they could, they still were aware that this is pretty much not happening. So they split the attention a bit between the lanes, and that works out quite nicely for them. Because they don't lose the fort in the middle, they take the bottom fort down, but they also close the experience gap just a bit so that they have the level 13 available sooner. So yeah, that's a nice one. Good reaction.
Both towers taken down. ETC goes for the wraparound, still going to slow him down though. Not burned Iron Skin yet, and he will have to use it now because he did get hit by the curse, but God, that was a lot of healing. He just suddenly got finding all the potions. There's the mosh pit, bless shield, but he interrupts, and ETC is gone. Stalk with the counterplay.
Yeah, they go for Marke. They try to get the kill there, and they do indeed. 2 down. They're trying to go for a little bit more. Deckard Kane comes in. Stay a while and get wrecked, baby. 1 down and 2 down. Ana dead as well. Only the dragon still alive, and the momentum swinging heavily in favor of the red team.
Quackix a little bit early on that Hammerang did wake up the Greymane and nearly allowed him to escape, but they picked up the kills anyway and were able to grab this fort. Nicely done. And like you said, Deathwing, the only one alive on the map. Finally, we're seeing respawns coming in as Deathwing is desperately trying to get XP from both lanes, but that mid fort is just going down. He's going to try and turn it into a fight, though, as they do dive in with the Cataclysm.
Yeah, they're jumping in as we speak. Bottom fort down, one in the middle nearly eliminated. Not quite, but they can make a play here. But
that was fantastic.
Yeah, really nice lockdown that they had. Good zone control from them. Also, yeah, by the way, talking about fantastic, I gotta say that Quack is really putting the numbers for his level 1 talent. on the board now. We have 30 already, 10 minutes in. That's pretty good. So he will have his activatable up very soon, and then they can create even more pressure onto Deathwing in particular. But of course, ETC2 as the game continues. So good setup.
Yeah, ETC is down on Prog Rock. We can see Tassadar's up to 90% on static charge and just hit level 16, so he'll be able to get the percentage damage on level 16 as well if he chooses to, which he does. That Thermal Lance coming in here. So cool to see. But yeah, to jump back to that last fight just super quickly, I really enjoyed what we saw there. The Gust comes out, but obviously you can't Gust Deathwing, so Tassadar says unstoppable this, and just drops a very simple wall, which Deathwing can't just walk through.
We also have 6 kills against 0. This just shows you how difficult it is currently for the Swedish House Mafia to get kills in there. Now, they made some really good moves rotationally, where they took the bottom fort down, just to give one example. But they need kills, and that would be a good one against Max Passion, but he doesn't even have to pop his R button here, so he knows that he's totally fine with the team backing him up, so no problem for him. And Jävla Spindel is really controlling the flow of the game right now. They are the ones to always just set the pace here. Once level 16 is in and the fight over the next shrine happens, that's a chance for the House Mafia to come back. But if they don't take that next fight, then it's going to be tricky to come back into this one.
And there is that level 16 just ticking in now as there is a full level lead for Jävla Spindel. So they hit that level 17. But with that, with talents evening up, you see a very large retreat to the objective here when they move into a more defensive position, while Yorel continues to annoy Svamgrotta before rotating around.
Yeah. Objective is up, 5 versus 5. Already a bit of zone control with the seal, the scroll from Deca, the old man, trying to cover the space. Slight lead for them now as the blue team is pushing in, trying to find the opening here. Max Passion, of course, still waiting around, but it's Stork who makes the move. Blessed Shield not out yet, waiting for the opportunity still. Mafia comes in deep. They're trying to go for the bird, but still everybody locking in one stack after another towards the objective in the attempt to win the third Punisher.
Svamgrotta's gone full in on the Molten Breath here. He's definitely trying to find the angle. He's going to drop a multi-man stun, which is good, but here comes the Gust for the counterplay with the fantastic rush there from Deathwing. Looking for it with the Cataclysm as Maka is melted. And that is going to be a 1-for-1 as Yorel is got off on the side. Gia forced to retreat, standing inside Storm, barely survives. Making that a 1-for-1, but Jävla Spindel, they got the objective again, and they are going to chase down Burger with the Sapphire. He is going to be taken out.
Yeah, he's running, but there's nothing that he can do here. The objective taken once again by Jävla Spindel. We have 8 kills to 1. Big lead now for the red team, and they are now pushing against the 3 survivors, trying to take the wall down and maybe even eliminate the first keep of the game. They are nearly 2 levels ahead. These guys are just playing out of their mind game #1 of this first map in the quarterfinal. And they are just showing zero mercy here.
Stop standing next to each other. You can see the conflagration from Deathwing finally getting value here. Will force back the members of Jävla Spindel who decide standing in the fire is a good idea and eat a lot of damage. It's going to allow him to clear out the Punisher, but it will not save this keep.
Yeah, it shouldn't. Yeah, especially with now Tassadar coming in. I mean, they kept the rest. You could see how they doubted it a little bit, right? They had the Punisher still there, and they were like, is he gonna take it down? Can we fall back? Do we still need to stick around? And I was like, okay, Tassadar, just go in for another combo just to be on the safe side. So yeah, it works out. They get the keep. It's good pressure to the bot lane now. And they can work on the last fort. But there's the wall and there's the kill. That is another point on the board. 9 kills to 1 and also completed quest for Falstad. Well done. Very solid control here from Jävla Spindel. Much more dominant in this first game than I expected them to be here.
Completely agree. I mean, they're playing this absolutely beautifully. They've had control over the map for basically the entire game here. And you can really see how hard this game has been on Swedish House Mafia by looking at Svamgrotta on that Deathwing, who is a fantastic player, incredibly high skill level, but he's been zoned so hard that this Molten Breath build he's gone for has got so little value, and a lot of that, again, is due to the fact ETC has also not really been able to get a successful mosh because they're being zoned so effectively by Stork and Yasuo.
Interestingly enough, Svamgrotta on his Deathwing is the only one on his team that hasn't fallen yet. He holds the top damage in Siege and the top damage in Heroes. On the hero damage, he's even top in the game, with the big gap over to Tassadar, who comes in as the #2 in 30,000. So still a good performance by him, despite all the troubles that he has for the reasons that you just pointed out. But now, more pressure. With level 20 talents and Storm talents in, that's the moment when you want to establish even more control over the map. You can try and take as many of these mercenary camps as possible, but just opening up the walls at the keep is already a good move. And there's a little bit of a safety pressure play by Quacknix, activating the Mighty Gust just to make sure that Skok is not get attacked.
That feels bad, though. That was a Durance of Hate and a Nano Boost traded out for Mighty Gust. That is not an effective trade, and you immediately see Swedish House Mafia realizing as such just stand in their base, because there's nothing really they can do now. Mosh Pit is really their only effective tool right now, unless someone decides to stand alone and get curse bulleted. But they're in a position where they can't really take an effective fight unless it's right next to their base anymore. They cannot step out.
Yeah. They need the experience. The thing is that they will likely have it for the next objective with just the lane experience pushing in. That's the one problem that you have if you have so much lane control. Your opponent will get safe XP. They can just sit back and sit at the keeps, consider the structures, and wait for the experience to come to them, which is pretty much what we're seeing from the House Mafia. Obviously, you can use that on the attacker side to get slow poke in against the structures, but it will lead to another even talent fight. But this is also where Falstad then will hold on to the bot lane. So now it's really important that Quacknix stays safe at the bottom and really watches out for vision on the map, that his team also keeps him informed if anybody is missing. But he will stick out in the bot lane as long as he can to try and escort a couple of the catapults towards the core.
Very sensible to stay down there and wait this out for now. We're going to see that stood in the fire for Deathwing here. Sven Grotta really trying to give himself a little bit of an engaged tool here. A 40% slow may give Mephisto the opportunity he needs to drop the damage output, who's currently holding his level 20. Finally going to pick it up. It is going to be that Mimic maximum damage output if he gets really stuck into the fight.
50 stacks now for Falstad, so really getting numbers onto the auto attacks. 17 minutes in. Objective is up, and the lead for Jävla Spindel as they have the immediate position in. That's also an arcane partnership we're talking about now, and as expected, Falstad is at the bottom of the map, and in the middle there's a camp pushing through too, so that's even more trouble. So they have two lanes where they need to be careful, but up the top, ETC goes down. That's a 5 versus 4, and they just lost it. The camp in the middle is attacking the keep. Falstad is already on the core. This is the worst case scenario. This is a nightmare for the Swedish House Mafia.
Quack can just end the game here if no one's able to come back and stop. He's going to clear minions, but he could just try and rush it down if he wanted to. He's deciding against it. Deccan is actually dropping low, so we may see him chase out. Nope, Quack's just going to come in and turn the counter kill onto Gia. Here comes the Cataclysm, but it's too late. Mephisto's already dead. There's the Wind Tunnel to cut off the escape, and this might just be game over here as Back's Passion chases them down.
It's pretty much a checkmate. The keep in the middle has now fallen to the camp that they took previously. This is a really bad spot for them to be in. Oh. Bam! Another mace to the face for Greymane. He's down. The bird takes down Deathwing. 5-man wipe as Anna falls. And now they can move into the middle. They don't even need the Punisher anymore. Absolutely no need for it. They got the camp. They got 2 catapults to push this in. That's exactly what they do. What a great setup on this first map for Jävla Spindel. Great performance. Much more dominant than I expected them to be here. But with 14 kills to 1, you can really tell that the Swedish House Mafia had incredible problems getting any kind of foothold in this game. And the logical conclusion is, of course, this. There's a little bit of a dance party still happening, but it gets immediately interrupted. ETC is dead again. And with that, the game will end right here and now, as Infernal Shrines goes to Jävla Spindel. They take the lead in the best of 3 with a victory on Infernal Shrines.
Nicely done. And when you're in a game where you can talk about a Falstad player just getting 2 fly kills, you know it was a fun game because he flew down that Deathwing at the end there as well, which was very entertaining. And it's got to feel bad when you're an ancient dragon powered by an old god who is the literal aspect of one of the building blocks of reality in your world, and you're chased down by a dwarf on a bird. Feels a little bad, team.
Yeah, and we are by now also in the lobby, so that seems to be working fine. And apparently what we have is a Quack and his boys going for map choice. So they actually chose to play on Battlefield.
You are right. Ooh,
it's pretty much the opposite from what I expected. I really thought that they were the ones more looking towards playing a bigger map and not playing the small one where there's more team fighting. But, well, draft is kicking off, so let's jump straight in and check that out. So our second map in the best of 3 series, ladies and gentlemen, is coming up now. And let's see which team is going to take it here. We are on Battlefield of Eternity. Swedish House Mafia against Jävla Spindel, and apparently first pick, first ban goes over to the Swedish House Mafia, so they opted for the first pick here. And they are behind, so they need to win 2 in a row now. They need to at least take this map if they want to have a chance to bring this to the conclusion on map number 3. The insta ban again on Cassia, and in addition to that, we also have Medivh eliminated. But I'm still waiting, honestly, for a little bit of a ban towards that Zarya setup, especially Svamgord. I would be very happy if you can lock that one in.
That's true. They are speed running this draft so far. You can see Swedish House Mafia not messing around at all. They have a plan, and it's just all Jävla Spindel can do to keep up here as they remove that Rexar. Another fantastic solo laner on this map. It's not unusual on this map. It's more common on Dragonshire, but it's a cool ban to see.
Yeah, but we have a lot of stuff open that you usually see banned out here. That's kind of insane. You have Li Ming, which is something that Maka pretty much locks in every single time he can on the map. In this case, they are currently having it on Gia, but there's a likely switch over to Maka depending on the rest of the draft. Ana is still up as well. Should be picked away now, because if that doesn't happen, then we have an Ana and Li Ming setup, which is fantastic. You have, when it comes to Immortal Pressure, still Rhaegar. You have Vala around. There's obviously also still that Garrosh plus Zarya pick. So there's actually a lot, but they let Ana go through and pick ETC and Urel instead. Okay.
Are we going to see that Ana? They currently have a 100%, well, they had until last series, a 100% win rate with Ana. But obviously that has been shut down in this case. So will they be able to pick it up and at least raise that win rate a bit?
I mean, that has to be Ana pick right now, right? Yeah, there it is. And some Grota with Imperius. Okay. So once that you have this particular setup, it's a little bit less likely that you go for the Garrosh Zarya combo. I mean, both teams have pretty much decided against that. But that's a very, very powerful setup that we now have for the Swedish House Mafia. I actually like the start into the draft very, very much for them. Of course, Urel still great, but this is dangerous. Going up against the Ana Li Ming combo is always super dangerous, which is why we are normally seeing that combo banned out or disrupted in any way.
Sergeant Hammer getting removed here. They don't want to deal with that sieging potential with their main engage tool being ETC. They can be denied hard engages by that knockback of Sergeant Hammer. So very cool to see. It's very sensible. More the kind of ban we'd expect to see against Washed Up, but it's still sensible due to the map and the composition they are currently running.
Yeah, more the kind of ban that you expect against the Germans. Chris, Azu, Nick. I guess Ty counts as well. Okay, Greymane and Anduin. Okay.
Alrighty. I love the Anduin. Cleanse from level 1 to deal with the hard Imperius engages and stop a massive snowball coming in. Very sensible.
Light bomb setup potentially there with Urel and Greymane. Yes. There's a lot of stuff that he can actually do with that.
We actually saw in Cup 1 it is possible to do a stage dive light bomb if you can time it correctly. So maybe we'll see something like that. Unlikely though.
With that lineup, I don't really think you need to resort to that. You got better options there, but having the possibility is always nice. Triple frontline. So we got Marker on Thrall and Backhold on Garrosh. But again, they could still swap a couple of the heroes around. But the last pick comes now through for Skog, and we need a bit more damage for them. They have Greymane on the objective. That's definitely true. But the last pick is revealed. And it's Hanzo, someone that we don't see that much on Battlefield of Eternity anymore. He was a staple in the past. Was one of those picks that you always wanted to have here, but now a bit more of a rare guest since other heroes are just better on the Immortal Pressure. But that rounds the draft out. Battlefield of Eternity, ladies and gentlemen. Map number 2 in this best of 3 series at Method Mayhem.
See, this makes me questions as to what build we're going to see Hanzo do. Because obviously the classic on this map used to be the Scatter Arrow build, which was fantastic for the race. It does offer good potential percentage damage in the late game, which might be good against Garrosh. But the Q build is the standard every map build these days, and he would still be able to stack that because he would be fighting in the lane, fighting in the center of the map quite a bit. So I'm curious which start he's going to go for, whether he's going to jump back to the proper classic for this map, or if we're going to see him leaning more heavily on what is the day standard.
I would just simply assume that they're going to try to lock down the Immortal as quickly as possible and go for a scatter build here just to rush that down as quickly as they can, because this is honestly where they excel compared to the opponent's team. So that would be my bet for now, if I'm honest.
I can definitely see that being true. We'll have to find out, though, as we will be ready to jump into game number 2. Remember, if Jävla Spindel are able to claim victory, they will be moving on to the semi-final. Swedish House Mafia right now looking to even up the series as we are heading in to Battlefield of Eternity.
Game on, everybody! Battlefield of Eternity, map number 2. And we are ready to rock and roll. On the left side, once again, the blue team over here. We got the Swedish House Mafia over to the right. Their opponent, we got Jävla Spindel in the lead in the best of 3 right now. If they lock in another victory, then they will move on to the semis. But of course, the Swedish House Mafia, they have other plans, and they're going to try and bring this back. Force game number 3. In terms of builds, we already have the simple geometry on level 1. We also got the block party against the auto attacks over here. But yeah, let's get the party started. Let's see if Mark and his boys can bring this back and win the second map of the series.
It has been over a year since I have seen this Hanzo build on this map, so I'm actually quite excited here as Stork is yeeted out of into the lane by Burger. Flippin' Burger in this case, but he is able to stay safe. We also have the Impaling Light, it's been very standard these days, coming in from the Impalius, going for those big hard engages, and interestingly, Thrall sticking with the main 4-man here, with that Rolling Thunder to try and take out that ETC with that percentage damage.
This talent is honestly like the way that it was buffed is like so strong now. It's honestly a little bit sad because I really feel that if you have Thrall not in the one-on-one lane but in the 4-man, I would love to see Trash Lightning a little bit more. Just because it is so ridiculous what kind of damage you can build up on it towards later stages of the game. But with Trolling Thunder being this good now, it's great in the one-on-one scenario. It's also good in this particular setup. There's a lot of advantage that you get. Even just having the additional bounce on the Chain Lightning is already, of course, a huge boost when you have these 5 versus 5 setups, these 4 versus 4 setups. But yeah, it's a bit sad that Crash Lightning has actually fallen off. It was always a very situational talent, but if you had a good lineup for it, a good setup for it, then it was just great.
Yeah, it got nerfed out, unfortunately, so it's a little less common to see, whereas, as we just mentioned, Rolling Thunder got quite buffed here. Toss onto Skook, and he is blasted. They even get a multi-man stun from Burger, who's trying to chase down Quacknix. Turns the fight onto Market a little bit and will force the retreat, but that was a solid kill there. Mako with a great setup.
Yeah, it was a snap decision, and this time there was just nothing to jump over, so our little hipster archer sits there and is like, well, that's that. Right in the tower range, gets a couple of double hits in, and then the rest of the team follows up and kills him easy peasy. So that allows for a bit more control in the earlier stages. Can always try to get an additional camp, maybe road someone topside, you know, grab the second camp there as well, since obviously Jävla Spindel was able to secure themselves the first Khazra camp here. But it's slowly time to think about Shaman camps, since objective number 1 has just been announced and will drop onto the map in 20 more seconds.
That was an interesting sonic arrow there from Skoog, dropping it onto the 2, so it only scouted the 2 bushes that Stork had literally just walked through. So a little bit interesting there, but it does make sure that no one is chasing after Stork. They're able to get some vision onto the lane and make sure they are safe here, as they will start to pick up their own Fallen Shamans, mirrored on both sides of the map, as ETC is slept, but is fine for the moment. Rooted down, turns, double stun, Max Passion with the knockback, as they look for Marker, chasing down Quacknix, going deep, but not able to go all the way and pick up the kill.
Yeah, Burger, aka Backhold, very, very low. But it's always kind of nice to see an ETC on this map. I mean, he's oftentimes banned out, but the control that he supplies throughout the objective phase is just incredible. And how he can easily lock targets also into an Immortal Stun. In this case, though, Stork is again in trouble and barely saved by Anduin. There we go. A lot of aggression, a lot of control coming from the Swedish House Mafia. They are really looking for a kill here. But good saves from Jävla Spindel too. So both of them still very heavily fighting over the lead on objective number 1.
Yeah, the objective is pretty even right now. Both teams are really struggling to get damage onto it because they're too busy fighting each other. Storm right into the Immortal Stun though. Percentage damage. Rolling Thunder says goodbye. Easy kill. Reset for Li Ming. Here's the second. Quacknix is perished. And they're able to pick up the second kill. And with that, they'll race up and try and take the halftime show.
Beautiful kill. I mean, backhold with Garrosh, that was just absolutely beautiful. He gets the perfect flip, the perfect stun into the Immortal Stun, and that's just simply them locking him down, taking him apart, resetting Liming, and off we go. And that's 3 kills against 0. And that highlights again what I said earlier, that I actually expected this map to be taken by the Swedish Mafia in the first place, because I expected them to be looking for more team fighting, since I feel this is where they will have a bit of an advantage over the red team. But instead it was Jävla Spindel who went for this particular map. Now, the objective is won by the House Mafia, but it is a very, very small shield on the Immortal, and it shouldn't really give them too much. Of course, the only tiny lead that they are establishing right now is always a chance to come back. 3 kills in the early game are nothing, to be honest. Especially if they're not able to get too much out of the Immortal, and given the shield, I highly doubt that they're going to walk away with too much structure damage topside.
Yeah, I mean, look at this D push. We have Scatter Arrow Hanzo, we have Greymane. It's the exact same argument as the actual race in the first place. Second that Immortal hits melee mode, Quacknix is much more free to just blast away at it, and they're going to be able to take this down. They're going to, in fact, look for the kill on the Spam Grotta, but Stork instead finds himself in the wrong side of town. But he's able to juke the stun from Garrosh and back away.
Yeah, for a second, looked like Stock was trying to commit Sudoku over here. Slides in, nearly gets stunned out. But it was also a really cool juke on backhold stun that he set out there. So that was nicely done. Dodging out on Garrosh, because that could have definitely led to a kill. It helped them to zone a bit more too. But now it's even experience for the two teams. A little bit extra damage against Jävla Spindel, but they are still definitely in the run for this one. But here again, the setup and a beautiful kill. Even Anduin with his trade can't do anything here. The idea, of course, with Yasuo and the hero was always to just play around these stuns that we're seeing coming in from Imperius and Garrosh, but you gotta give credit to the House Mafia. They are just syncing their abilities up so well right now. Communication and coordination on that team is just spectacular at this point.
Absolutely. They're playing a beautiful game so far, continuing to put on a fantastic performance with some incredible engages here from Imperius. Max Passion does sidestep him, and they're actually going to try and go for Swam Grotta here. Passion dropped low, unable to finish the job, but a lot more scatter arrow damage coming out from Hanzo. There's a sleep dart will prevent the chase, but this mercenary cab is still up for grabs.
Yeah, topside. Liming against Greymane. Mercenary camp gets locked in by the red team, but they are falling a bit behind experience. Now, it's not really a big problem just yet, but it might become one once the Immortal is up, since level 10 early on for the blue team would help them to secure the halftime show.
Stork soaking up, buying time for his team, as we see that Fallen Shaman not being taken yet. They get vision on the bush to make sure no one's invading. Looks like they're going to wait for after the halftime show, like you said, just going to try and race out here. We see Thrall and Li Ming racing on one side, but Hanzo and Greymane already in position, and as such, they are getting a significantly faster race at this point. But here comes from the side, a fantastic gag from Burger, picks up the kill onto Anduin.
5 kills to 0. Seriously, they are just locking them in. It feels like they lock them in whenever they want to. But again, level 10 isn't there yet. Halftime show soon to be reached. And despite the kill against Anduin, you gotta say that they did a decent job just keeping this at roughly 50-50. And Anduin will be back for the actual fight. The problem is that this is happening, and ETC just disappears on the map within a second. And that can't happen. That's a staggered death that eliminates the frontliner. And even with Skork just trying to do a bit of damage, this is just not enough. 5 versus 4 once more, and this is trouble brewing.
Max Passion gets the knockback. He might have to put on Defender here because he is in trouble. Light Bomb comes out for the turnaround play as Dragon Arrow also only hits Garrosh here. Nice little shield though. We'll keep Quacknix alive. Stage Dive comes in as they look for Swam Grotta here. They do have the Stage Dive Light Bomb combo in. They've won it. And there is the into the fray, though. That's going to shut down the chase here. Burger should be able to tank through any hard engage. And with the multi-man sleep dart from out of there, that is the escape of Skook. That's his life flash before his eyes.
Yeah, he could have fallen there. If he dies, that would, of course, be horrible for them. But it's 6 kills against 0.
Oh, no.
Look how deep they go for this one. And they might be rewarded with a kill. They're trying to go for Ana, and, well, scratch the try. They come in and take her down. There's a little bit more scouting going on. 5 versus 4 still. Careful, Backhold. That could very well be another slide, another opportunity. The push back, Garrosh in trouble. There's the taunt, nobody cares. Imperius coming over the wall for the double stun though. But it's still a 2-for-1 trade. Positive one for them, but they need to come back down to the bottom of the map to take the Immortal apart.
Yep, Mortal's still racing down. It's going to be able to take down this fort because people aren't going to get here in time. They got the 2-for-1, like you said, which is some nice comeback XP, but at least that fort's going to be pretty rough here. They didn't want to stay for the fight to potentially just get the full fight because they knew they would have been in serious trouble if Li Ming had picked up another reset, and with how low Hanzo was, it was not worth that risk.
Topside pressure, the wall obviously already down. If they can take the fountain down here, that would already be quite nice for the third objective. It's still even experience. I mean, honestly, it comes down to experience over and over again. If once you establish a bit of a lead and you take a talent advantage, that's where things easily start out of control. Yeah, that arrow is flying straight up to an A. Didn't hit anything, but the rest of the team is falling back. Nobody died at least. Well,
Stalk, please.
Stalk. Careful. I have no problem with you trying to bait out some abilities, but that was, yeah, too much optimism there.
Yeah, that was a risky port, but he is able to survive and will get back to base, heal up. He does have stage dive as well, so he can rejoin. And he's got her. He's looking for Gia here. He's going to try and chase it down, but unable to do so. Gets slept, woken up by the minions, but by that point, Gia's already out.
13 talents now. Soon to be ready for both teams. Imperius still at the bottom of the map. Macro advantage for the House Mafia. And Svamgrotta still at the bottom of the map here. And again, it comes down to heroics. And, well, we have most of them ready for the next objective. Hanzo's going to have his back up. ETC with another 45 seconds. But he doesn't necessarily need it here either. Now we have level 13 for both. That's great for Li Ming in particular, of course, now that she has Illusionist as well. But yeah, off we go. This is the third objective, and right now Jävla Spindel needs to put in some effort here. They got the better race. They just need to make sure... Oh, if they get the kill! Oh, in the dream! And Svamgrotta pops ult and goes down regardless. Nicely done.
Oh.
But Urel falls too.
Counter. Offlane is taken out. A little bit of a miss. Urel stepping up a bit too far. Undefender was dropped as well, so they killed her through that, which is incredibly impressive. Skork is remembering how squishy Hanzo is as he eats an arcade orb to the face, but they will move up to the aggressive position and take the start of the race.
Bot lane push. That's going to be something they have to stop eventually. Still, they're trying to go for the halftime show over here. 8 kills to 3.
Nice.
What a nice flip. Mid-air, ETC doesn't even know where to go. In the mid-throw, he just gets like zoomed back. So, cool move here from Anduin.
Oh dear, very nicely done.
Better than any roller coaster.
Steal. Absolutely. Someone tries to steal something from you. No, you can't have this. So we see the focus onto the Immortal. A little bit of counter race stun onto Skook though, and he is done. Absolutely destroyed there. The burst is so high from Swedish House Mafia, and we can't afford to see Jävla Spindel getting caught out like this over and over again.
Exactly, the insta-kill potential is insane from the Swedish House Mafia, and that's what I expected in game number 1 to see a bit more, but that didn't quite happen. Will we see another tug of war between Anduin and Garrosh? By the way, does it also mean that Anduin is actually stronger than Garrosh? I mean, he won the tug of war, so we would assume. There's the flip, by the way. ETC. Quark, by the way, also fighting it out against Svamgrotta. He's a little bit alone, especially with Li Ming now coming in, so he needs to be careful too. But they're still putting the pressure on. Arrow is coming in. Arrow! Arrow! Ah, there's a double connect. But that's not enough.
Not going to achieve anything though.
And goodbye, Goat.
Root comes out from Yasu. Skoog, in the meantime, ran all the way back to the Immortal to get some race in, but they are going to lose the Immortal. Going to be forced to back up. They lost Urel, who once again was caught on Defender, literally just came off cooldown, so it was not available for that situation, and the push too aggressive there.
Yeah, top lane is also already in a bit of trouble since, I mean, it's going down before the Immortal is even here. It was already pressured by the minion waves, and then the rest of the team came in to finish the job. Immortal is now saying hello, but does have no impact here. Nearly level 16 for the House Mafia. This is a great push for them. 40% shield, level 16 during the fight, if it comes to that. And they're already massively ahead in experience, of course, too. Not sure if they can go for the keep, though. Immortal is not strong enough yet.
Just trying to push forward. It will take out the second tower at minimum. They blast through that. And it's got half health. It's pushing hard. Li Ming, with now Mirror Ball available as 16 is hit. They continue to zap, and this is also going to give Marco lots of chance to stack up Thunderstorm, which he's beginning to do. And they'll weaken that keep down to just about a third health. In fact, its minions will finish that off to a quarter. So the keep is low, but like you said, it was the Immortal, little low going in, not enough to finish the job.
At the end of the day, what really matters is if you can eliminate it or not, right? That's when the catapults spawn, that's when you actually know what's going on there. So in this case, it's not really happening just yet, but the situation is getting more and more dire for Jävla Spindel. There's definitely no talking around that. So that could be very, very problematic for them, and we'll see if they can somehow hold on to all of this. But I mean, they're down to the last leg. If they lose another objective, it's pretty much a lights out scenario.
Camps being cleaned up, but more just being picked up over and over again by Swedish House Mafia, keeping on the pressure, putting in a good case for taking us to a game number 3 here. Also, talents to point out here, Mortal Combo for the Garrosh. He's looking to set up just a stun chain here to really shut down Jävla Spindel's counterplay.
They're pushing as much as they can at the bot lane now too. Of course, both of the camps are available, but there's no talent advantage anymore, so you can't just go in and take that away. Jävla Spindel, they got the lead in the series, so for them this is still, if they lose here, they still have the third map coming up, but of course you want to bring this back now. And it is Quacknix's team. Quacknix and his team, they always have some ace up their sleeve. I mean, it's always like a backdoor towards the end of the game that all of a sudden gives them a victory or some kind of rotation on the macro side where they're not going for the objective but simply try to go for map trades, and it seems to work for them time and time again. But this insta-kill combo that we have from the House Mafia is putting the pressure on for sure, and this objective might be the last one depending on how this fight goes. There's the arrow. They can't go for that.
I didn't think they expected someone to be in that bush. They were hoping to hit someone on the Immortal and engage onto it. Instead, they find Garrosh, and as such, nothing is landed here. With that, they mount up and pull back now without a heroic that they were hoping to use to engage there. And that's a position where they can't really fight. And that has been noticed by Swedish House Mafia, who immediately move on to the Immortal.
Yeah, they don't have the same pressure that we see from Jävla Spindel, so they can't race. That means they can't leave this one alone, because that's a battle that's easily won by the red team, and they're already trying to prove that right now. And they will likely walk away with the lead over here. That's actually really clutch. Both teams defending the Shaman camp. But Jävla Spindel has taken the 50-50, even though they started this a bit later. Now they're trying to go for the kill. Imperius is a little bit low and comes immediately in, trying with his own ult to go for the counter, and he does. Together with Thrall, they take ETC down. That is the reset for Li Ming. A second kill as Greymane falls, and oh boy. With Urel gone, this is a total disaster. Skog is dead too. Oh my god, like that is just brushing the field in the team.
Gallagher just ran down Yasu. He ran him down solo and sleep darted him until his team could get there. Nicely done. And the attempt to give Swedish House Mafia a taste of their own medicine from Jävla Spindel by trying to get the blow up was shut down by Smelling Salts, the stun removal from Anna. It was 50 armor onto that Imperius, and because that stun was removed, he had just a split second to get Angelic Armaments active, and that kept him alive long enough for them to go for the turnaround play. Beautifully done, and with that, Swedish House Mafia are looking for keeps and probably cores, although everyone will be alive for the defense.
Now, level 20s are soon in. It's going to take another couple of seconds. There we have it. Just as the Immortal comes through, this is going to hurt a lot now. That keep is gone. Top keep, by the way, will fall to the minion wave alone. Imperius with the Impervious. The arrow misses everything, goes straight through the mirror, narrowly missing the target. And now they're going straight in for keep number 2. Likely game. Ah, brutal. Swedish House Mafia with a fantastic second game. They're killing Anduin once again. It's 17 kills to 3. They take Urel down. They are absolutely spanking Jävla Spindel here. They're going to need to apply a little bit of aloe vera, or they won't be able to sit down for the third map, because this one's over. That is GG, as the House Mafia brings it to a third map in this best of 3. Well played, as the blue team locks in the victory.
I feel very bad for ETC that game. That was a hard game to be the main frontline hero. Oh dear. Alrighty, we're getting ready to jump into game number 3. Maybe we will see the Murky. Maybe we will see Vikings. Maybe we'll see Cassia. Maybe we will see who's going through to the semi-finals. That's one we can guarantee you as we're heading into the draft of Towers of Doom. Let's find out who's going to the semi-finals between Swedish House Mafia and Jävla Spindel, as Jävla Spindel will take first pick and first ban.
Final map coming in, Towers of Doom. So here we go. The series is tied, and the final map is going to determine which team moves on and which team drops out, as we are in the last weekly cup before the monthly final. Now here on Towers, Rhaegar gets banned, so does Medivh. Looks a little bit familiar on the ban pattern. The Slugger also gets eliminated. That's always a sad moment for us, to be absolutely honest. That's the moment where I'm just like, please let him through just once. And we have Tacita also banned.
But you know what that means? Cassia has been allowed through. True. Now the question is, how much is it prioritized from the side of Jävla Spindel, or is it not prioritized at all on this map? This is where we're going to find out this information. And Jävla with their first pick. Anna's still available. They could try and steal that away. They could try and pick up that Cassia, and if not, ETC, Johanna, all these available. They opt for the ETC.
Yeah, ETC has a quick first pick here. High priority for them now. I mean, generally speaking, ETC, of course, still great, but after the beating that he took on the last map, I thought the chances were that they go for something else this time. But that's, of course, also a map where you can get good stage dive value. And immediately, Urel plus Ana. That's good combo potential. And picking the Urel away is also quite neat. So a good opening, I'd say, for the Swedish House Mafia in this third draft.
Nice to see. They've left the Li Ming open, so we could see that banned away or stolen away here from Jävla if they chose to. We will see for now, as they have basically full options here of what to go for. They're going for Sylvanas and bringing out, healer-wise, their Lucio. They want those fast rotations here.
Yeah, so Yasu on that. I mean, Sylvanas is also kind of nice. Once you take a team fight, you can always start the snowball and reclaim one of the bell towers, convert it over. Still, need to win those fight and get a little bit more of a burst damage also behind it. I'm really interested to see what the second melee is going to be for them. More so than anything else at this point. But here come the bans. So we have the Panda banned out against Max Passion. No passion at Panda for him. And on the other hand, is Li Ming getting banned? Or do they actually allow for the Li Ming plus Ana combo so that they can Nana boost the hell out of her?
Yeah. Or do we see perhaps a tank-focused Johanna be removed to prevent those ETC interrupts? Or are they really scared of that Garrosh, who was just a jerk last game? They choose to go with the Li Ming, keeping it simple. They can't afford to risk that again.
I think there's too many good tanks that can still be taken against ETC or just like in general. So banning the Li Ming out gives you secured value. There's obviously still mages that you can combo off with Ana, so you're not going to avoid that. But at least the comeback mechanic of just simply getting resets is out. So instead, now they're going for Jaina, which would be the obvious pick afterwards. Garrosh is in 2, still making this an absolute terrifying setup, don't get me wrong. But I still believe that the decision to ban Li Ming out and deny the Ana Li Ming combo was the right one, especially after what they experienced on the second map. So yeah, good shot there.
Final 2 picks here for Jävla Spindel. They need their offlaner and a second damage dealer. Quacknick's this choice, most likely. Let's see what we go for. Dahaka and Thrall coming in here as the final picks. They don't go for the second range. They go for that triple front line here. Lots of interrupt potential, but lots of people who could get caught by Garrosh. However, that percentage damage from Rolling Thunder gives them the opportunity to try and turn the tables.
They also got the global, so that's also important here. Global with isolation, which is also super important here, so that you can utilize this. But off we go. Final pick. There's the bird. Falstad against Dahaka. The final pick, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 3 coming up. Towers of Doom, the series coming to a conclusion here. Only one of the teams will be able to advance. And we're going to find out which team that is on Towers of Doom. Swedish House Mafia against Jävla Spindel.
Plenty of opportunities for some very fun wombo combos from the side of Jävla Spindel here, with potential for Mosh Pit Wailing Arrow into all of Thrall's damage. The kill potential is mostly going to be on this Sylvanas, of course, to finish the majority of the kills there. On the other side, though, we've talked about it so many times. The Garrosh last game was absolutely terrifying, and they're bringing that out again with Jaina as the Nano Boost target, which is still one-shot potential on basically anyone on this side from Jävla Spindel. So I'm excited to see if Swedish House Mafia can pull off this similar strategy. And technically, they do have a cheeky speed boost if they want it. Hand of Freedom gives you a very solid speed boost from Urel, so they could do a sort of very low budget speed barrier Garrosh combination if they wanted to.
The low budget combination there. That's all right.
Alrighty, so, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be getting ready to jump into game number 3, last game of this series in just a moment, but we want to remind you that we'll be giving it away to Corsair K95 Platinum keyboards with that beautiful RBG at your gaming space. Look like a professional here with this fantastic keyboard. And my personal feature, that lovely scroll, that lovely analog scroll volume there is one of my favorite things on any keyboard. You can win this by hitting !charity in the chat. And if you do that, you go to the link there to, for starters, support Cure for Rare Disease. And if you go there, you're entered already. If you donate, you'll be entered again and increase your chances of winning this beautiful keyboard. We're going to be giving away 2 here. 1 will be going to the person who donates the most during this period of time, and 1 will be going away to a random viewer in the chat. But for now, we're heading into the game, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 3 of this quarterfinal. Let's find out who's going to the semis.
Towers of Doom. Game number 3. Yeah, one of the 2 teams will advance to the semifinal, and we're going to find out right now who that is. So a little bit of a snowstorm already coming down on Towers of Doom here. On the left side, we have, once again, the blue team. We're going to look over to Maka and his boys to see if they can clutch out 2 wins in a row. Whereas over to the right side, it's Jävla Spindel in an attempt to finish what they started on Infernal Shrines and lock in a victory here. This time, Echo of Elements has been taken for Thrall. We got an addition to that, also the Seasoned Marksman. And, of course, we're going to keep our eye on Jaina in particular, who's going to try and supply all of that burst damage that's going to be needed to lock these kills in to as a follow-up after the CC that we're getting from Burger, who is rocking in the money pick once again on the 3rd map.
Nice to see. Max Passion already going to be backing up. He's not heading to top lane yet because I believe he walked down here. Now he will tunnel up to top lane to try and get double the essence. This is the plan here, as he's gone for tissue regeneration. So he's going for that extra tankiness in the game to take a little bit of weight off of Stork's back here by substituting his own health pool a little bit.
Bit of a rotation between the 4 men. That's actually where Lucio helps them out a lot. Now, of course, when we come to the rotations between the lanes, we also have to keep Falstad in mind, because he's pretty much trying to mirror that and soak it from 2 lanes, the minion stacks, for the stacks on Seasoned Marksman. I guess actually caught nearly by Stork here, who was moving into the middle. Nearly caught him in this particular instance, but yeah, it didn't really work out yet. So no kill yet in the game. Instead, we're having both teams focusing on the pumpkins, trying to get that extra damage towards the bot lane and get that pressure in. Even though early on in the game, we can expect that both of them will likely be able to defend against those quite easily.
Stork backs away, Yasu. He just hovers around. He nearly made his way into Burger's range there, but Burger playing a little bit safe and far back. Here comes the Blizzard. Clean out the lane as Cracknex will be zoned out. As long as they can keep him away from those minions, it'll make it much easier to prevent him from stacking that Echo, but it's a pretty quick stack. Skoog, hello, he wakes up and he's out.
Yeah, that was a bit tricky. It was a really good flip from Burger and straight into Galnagolnar's sleep. And then the damage came, but it was just not enough to secure the kill. But it already shows the potential of this setup. If you have good coordination, you can do so much work. Talking about potential, Gia is in trouble, and Stork is already trying to lock him in. Messes up a little bit, and Gia dodges out on Quacknix's Wolf, but still he's completely isolated from the rest of the team and goes down. But ETC falls to... That's honestly the best that the House Mafia could hope for, a counter kill, so good on them.
Nicely done, yeah. Blast their way through that. The counter kill onto ETC, who stepped up a little too far there. Stork goes down. Also, big shout out to Gia there, who sidestepped every single stun and root to keep himself alive for a little bit longer. Eventually, he was killed off by body blocks, which is finally what did him in due to the nice little wraparound. But really solid play there with some fantastic micro. Yasu just going to boop his way to freedom because that's risky to stand next to Garrosh like that.
Yeah. First objective is up. Triple, of course. Top left, top right, as usual, the exchange between Falstad and Dehaka in this case, the two globals, so that they can rejoin the fight at the bottom of the map after pushing out an additional lane topside. But down here, it's going to be the battle over the third altar in an attempt to get the slight lead. There's no level 7 yet for either team. Dehaka has taken to the top lane, just for a bit longer, to make sure that he pushes another lane out, but he could always make the move back in and try to get a hold of Gulna on the back, for example.
I don't think they intend to fight over this. I think this is all about Jävla Spindel trying to keep Swedish House Mafia here for as long as possible because Dehaka waited. I stand corrected though because he's coming in. Max Pasha with the fantastic engage, and they look for Garrosh here. Burger looking to finish off that kill, and they will be able to get it. Pulling the trigger with the instant engage from Dehaka, and that was nicely done. They pick up the kill, and will be able to channel in this altar.
Yeah. Altar comes in, and that gives us a bit of a lead. I'm sure that the overlay is going to be adjusted soon, TM, but we currently have 32 on the side of the blue team, and we have 36 points on the side of Jävla Spindel. So a slight advantage now taken with 2 altars against 1. And the 7 talents are, of course, in. Still got good stacking here. Gia again playing the Juke Master 2000 as he's barely moving out of that power slide. But the fight isn't over because the blue team is looking for the battle and they're taking Quadmix down as Urel jumps in, who first and takes it all apart.
Yasu with a mighty juke, a speed boost. He will get himself out of danger. Skoog does get flipped. Stork will position himself in the defensive though and allow him to get out. Marker doesn't get the last auto, and Yasu does escape.
Alright, now topside, still the globals going 1 versus 1 over here. Marker is a little bit low. If there's a drag and he gets hit with that, he would actually fall, but he's able to juke that too. Max Passion had it on cooldown a little bit earlier, I suspect. But oh boy, that was dangerous for sure. He does a great job still getting the stacks. I mean, he's sitting at 13 super early in the game, so he will eventually end up with the activatable here. I like that down at the bottom of the map, they still protect the entire wall. But here comes the next objective. Double altar, top left, top right, but also at the top, the kill potentially against Max Passion. Jukes it a bit, but can only delay the inevitable.
Buys himself a second more of time, but he still dies, like you say. He will go down. We see the double objective up at the top. Stun onto Quacknix. Focus onto him. Power slide, though, buys him time as they turn onto Burger and pick up the kill. Nicely done.
Yeah, also, Garrosh is down. Puts it in a 5 versus 4. Level 10 any second now. And let's go. Then we got the 10. Not really a big window that they can play around with, so they're not going to be in a position where they can capitalize on it too much. Oh, well, maybe they can. There comes the isolation. There comes the slide. Level 10 is finally in. Mako, on the other hand, is not able to save him too much. There's a nano boost on the bird. Gulna actually got out. Like, what the hell? Everybody's surviving for now. That's actually crazy. That looked like it would be a safe kill against Falstad at least. Ha! Flipping the target onto Anna, but still the taunt comes through. What a fight, a scrappy battle between the two teams, and so far without any kills.
This is gonna be the retreat. They can't go any further. Max Passion will finally fall, and they got really close to channeling that in, but Anna, with a fantastic sleep dart, delayed it. The problem is, though, they're now going to lose both here, as they're zoned away. Health is too low. Stork looks for the interrupt, but instead might end up being the dinner, but he's able to power slide away. And with Burger positioned where he is... Oh, well, one more interrupt. Yasu being annoying here. They should steal this. They should get this. Dehaka's on his way back. So is ETC. But looks like they're going to give that up. Health bar's too low.
It's so difficult to steal the early one on the other side. It's just like, you have the fountain so close for the opponent, they can always rotate back in. It rarely happens. Even in that situation, they can't make it work. So now we have the shots fired and we have 4 hits on each side. 28 to 32. But what a scrappy fight here. So many opportunities to get kills, and it just feels like they're always slipping away. Talking about slipping away, Swamp Grota! He just barely makes it out. Calculated, another rocket scientist in Heroes of the Storm.
Gets out just there. Nice gust as well, saving Bergen, but that's going to force the retreat out of Galnagunda and Gia. But you can see the wraparound. Look at Falstad and Garrosh here. Are they going to try and make a play? Garrosh moves in, but he will back away. The camp was taken very quickly. There was no chance for the counter-engage.
It's still a back and forth between the two teams here, but taking the camp away, that was actually really important. And it's kind of one of the first few moves that we're seeing where a team is trying to get a bit ahead. They are slightly behind in kills, but that was important if you're trying to just open up the bot lane so that eventually with Sylvanas you can control the bottom bell tower and convert it over. So if they win a fight, they don't really have to go through the wall anymore, and that really helps them to apply a bit more pressure to the bottom of the map. Where we also, by the way, will see the next altar spawn. So it's going to be a bot side altar, which makes this dangerous. If you lose that fight from the perspective of the blue team, then Sylvanas can really, really wreck you when you lose the control over the bottom of the map.
We see Quacknick, Sleep Dart in trouble, trying to tank it. Drops the Earthquake, that buys some time. Stage dive on top of him here. He's holding for now, but he gets caught in the Blizzard finally and taken out. But Skook, with the counter kill here, he's going to be a little trapped away from the rest of his team. And with Marker from over the wall, they pick up the kill. There's the Gust to try and guarantee the disengage for Galnagunda. But Sangrota, he's nano boosted. Even though he couldn't see due to the isolation, he still went deep, looking for Stalk here. Marker can come over the wall once again to drop damage, but they don't have enough kill potential for Stalk here.
Yeah, the problem is they also lost the main damage dealers for the team now, so they only have the 2 tanks, but they're still trying to zone them out, and they have a lot of control tools that they can use here, and they're locking Svamkrota down, or at least they're trying to. Yasuo comes in as well, boops him back once more. Mark and Galnagunda need to be really careful. Lucio is coming in, trying to help chase them down now, and they're still establishing the position, but the rest of the blue team is already coming back, and the same is also true for Jävla Spindel as they are moving Sylvanas back onto the map. Now they have to reset this fight a little bit, but we still have even talents for the 2 team as we once again see Quacknick's going in deep. Also the Go jumping in, there's the sound barrier, they're trying to go for the bird. Mucke gets flipped out barely, but Anna falls and they take the lead. But the counter kill against Quack just as we see Berghold walk away. Oh, and the damage overtime nearly killed him, but it's Sylvanas that falls instead. This is so clutch.
Makes that a 2 for 2, but finally, with some space created, Stalk grabs it. Stage dive, where'd he go? He went to top lane, just split soak. I was wondering where if he was going to dive the core or something to try and kill him. Jeez. But no, he picks up a little bit of XP, and the top lane is going to try and interrupt Svamgrota making it up here to grab all that XP from the dead minion wave. Doesn't stop him getting any, but does slow him down a bit.
It's actually a bit insane. That fight was all over the place. Initially, it was even a 3 versus 3 at some point. And then the kills, the attempt to take Garrosh down as Sylvanas commits to it and then dies instead. But still enough space created for Stork to get the channels through. They're all over the place here. 8 kills to 7, still even experience for the 2. Svamkrota here in the middle is a bit isolated. Marker, doesn't have to help them. Still able to move him out without any problems. And guys, this is game 3. This is the map that really counts. Which team advances? Which team drops out of the tournament? The quarterfinals on the last map, and Stork in a bit of trouble as Marke moves in. The boomerang, the double kill as he goes for ETC and Lucio.
Water Elemental chases deep, will get pinged away there, but like you said, a fantastic kill. Jada, by the way, also now has access to ice blocks. That will prevent the counter from being made against her. A fantastic roll from Marker to finish off that chase with the boomerang. And with that positioning is taken by Swedish House Mafia with just under half a level lead. They look with these sappers. One of them got a bit confused there, but they're going to move them into the bell tower and they're going to try and take that down and give themselves the advantage for this channel.
Yeah, that Sapper was just like, no, I'm not going to destroy the gate. Screw the gate. I want to destroy something important. So he waited that out. 16 is in. Good damage against Marker. They're trying to take him down, but another save. Still, the isolation hits Berghold, and he makes it out. The slide not connecting with him. No stun. It's close though. But here comes the channel. One already taken, and still the counter. 16 to 16. Even talents now. Objective already over. But slowly and steadily, we see control established on the map by Swedish House Mafia. They couldn't get the bottom bell tower on the other hand.
Yeah, it dropped super low, but they wanted to finish the job, and now we're in a situation where the counter bell tower might be taken here. As Marker being zoned away here. He's on the best position, but of course he does have barrel roll, but not if he's rooted. Expires, he is able to escape as Dahaka naps and then easily dodges from Grossa.
Yeah, full step by now, also top damage for the team, 38,000. Really good numbers for him. And Make has been murdering on the other attacks in particular. Here comes the taunt on the other hand, and immediately the kill against ETC. Not even Lucio with his ult can prevent it. And that is pretty much what happened on map number 2 as well. Stork just constantly put under pressure from Backhold in particular. Swamgora jumping in a little bit deep with Urel again. Pretty much unkillable at this point. Oh, talking about killing people. Sylvana's barely moving out on the wave. But of course, the blue team now has a chance, and they're flying in. They're going for the quick wind tunnel attempt for the gust. They go for Skoki's down. Goodbye, Sylvanas. The double kill as Thrall falls. And the Swedish House Mafia is absolutely demolishing the opposition here on the final map of this series.
With 3 altars available, they claimed, but that is 15 potential shots from Swedish House Mafia here. That would bring down the core of Jävla Spindel to 13 if they can capture all these. And with 3 heroes 15 seconds away, they are in a great position to do so. Stork is zoned, Yasu is zoned. You can see Lucio is running his way bot lane to buy some time. Here comes Stork as well. They were looking for Marker. They're going to try and race it, but Gia is in position. Water Elemental going to come down. That's going to put the time they need. And with the double channel in top, the rest of the team's already on the way. And this will be the full 15. And the kill on Stork as well. Yasu's in trouble. Push off. He's able to get out of danger. But that's 15 health off their core.
Yeah, that hurts. That hurts a lot. 20 to 13 in just a second. 2 levels down as well, which obviously means that an early level 20 would be great. There's even a few more shots that make it through. So with the flip on Garrosh, we now have another pumpkin connecting, and that's 20 to 12. Wow, that turned quickly over here. It was an early lead for Jävla Spindel, but they lost all of it now. And this is just one-way Heroes of the Storm at this point.
Yeah, this is falling apart quite a bit. Another set of sappers coming in. You already mentioned Into the Fray, got 1 extra shot, so they're down to 12 here. Another triple altar phase that will do it. And with that sleep, no one wakes it up. Great patience. The silence comes out to give Quacknix a chance. Earthquake to try and save himself, but the taunt is too much. And down goes Quacknix. He lost his Thunderstorm stacks. And now with the 4-man push, Sappers creeping forward. Black Arrow to delay. Stork into the Blizzard is taken out. 1, 2, 3 onto the core. And the core is down to 9.
They're single digits now, and it's just kill after kill after kill after kill. They're not showing any mercy here anymore. Every single time you see them on the map, it just seems like there's another lockdown. Yasuo is trying to rush around them too, and in the meantime, Dahaka falls topside. It's just really staggered deaths everywhere. Even Yasuo, he might be able to make it out here. He's definitely having some fun with this, and buys time for Sylvanas to get damage onto the bell tower at the bottom of the map. But generally speaking, they are just scrambling now. And with 9 points and an objective coming up, if you get the boss, which they're already trying to grab, plus also the altar, it's game.
Yeah, Yasu has to play this. I don't think there's no way he can steal it. He's not gonna, because it would be a really bad idea for him to not be alive for this, what will most likely be final fight of the game. Dahaka in 9 seconds. The objective is already up. ETC is running his way in. He does have stage out available, and he may have to use it. He is going to use it for the interrupt here. His practice is going to be taken out on the back line, but he's going to go for Gala. Gonna just man the route, and the perfect turnaround from Jada picks up the kill, and the man advantage is so in their favor now. The Dahaka did make his way in and silence Maka, at least for the time being. GG has been called with 2 people dead. It's up to Yasu, Max Passion, and Stork. And with Max Passion dead, Yasu has nowhere to go. He buys time, but that's not gonna do anything here. Stork, the last to fall for his team. It's the full team wipe. And we will see Swedish House Mafia making their way to the semifinals.
Yeah, they're going for the channel. It's 5 points left, and they got the bell tower control that they need here. Nicely done. 23 kills, 2-7. Channel comes through. 63,000 damage on Jaina, and that's the victory right here. The House Mafia moves on to the semis with a dominant victory in map number 3 of this quarterfinal series.
Very nicely done, pulling off the final victory there. And, well, I think we might start seeing Garrosh bans against them at this point, because What do you say about that? This Mortal Combo style from Burger here is so deadly. So we even need to start seeing maybe garage bands or a lot more Johanna being played.